shot down in the House.
Key portions of an unprecedented measure to disclose classified government records relating to UAPs. Those measures were stripped from the annual defense spending bill.
It's beyond disappointing that the House has refused to work with us on all the important elements of the UAP Disclosure Act during the NDAA conference. But nevertheless,
key to gutting the bill were Mike Rogers of Alabama, the chair of the House Armed Services Committee, and Mike Turner, the chair of the House Intel Committee, who represents Dayton, Ohio, home of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, long rumored to be one location where UAP material is kept.
There's nothing to see here. Why are Mike Rogers and Mike Turner in the House blocking this bill that is, in my opinion, the most important legislation for transparency in American history?
The story is that they've held it from Congress, from the administration. I mean, it's pretty astonishing if true.
Every decade, there's been individuals who said that the United States has such pieces of unidentified flying objects that are from outer space. There's no evidence of this, and certainly there would be quite a conspiracy for this to be able to be maintained, especially at this level.
Pull up his PAC donors. Who are his biggest donors? Lockheed, Raytheon, Boeing. If there's nothing to see here, why don't we just pass this and see what happens?
Most people won't touch it. I mean, they're afraid to be embarrassed, or two, they're afraid what they find.
Those with firsthand knowledge who have, an interest in being forthcoming are deterred from doing so because they're afraid of the consequences, despite the whistleblower protections that exist in statutes and in policies, that those are just not really nearly effective enough. They feel that their livelihoods will be at risk. In some cases, even worse. There's some people who express fear for their personal safety.
Thank you so much to all of our speakers. We will start taking questions. For those in the room, we have a microphone over here that we would ask you to speak into.
Thank you very much. This is directed to Mr. Nelson. Thank you for being here. Two quick questions. One is, how can we make the determination of what something isn't when we don't know what it is? And B, after a careful review of the data, if it's determined that some, underline the word some 10 times, UFOs or UAP originate from a non-human intelligence, what's the plan to disclose that to the public?
And can you identify yourself, please?
James Fox. Thank you.
Let me repeat what I said. I think it's important that you hear this word for word. The NASA independent study team did not find any evidence that UAP have an extraterrestrial origin. But we don't know what these UAP are. But we're going to try to find out.
Thank you very much. And is there a plan in place, if it is determined that some of them originate from a non-human intelligence, to tell the public? Is there a plan? Or
if we are what I said we intend to be, which is transparent, you bet your boots. We will say that. Whatever we find, we're going to tell you.
I just wonder if the people in power have any kind of plan for that. I kind of doubt they're very prepared for that. I don't know.
what does the press release say when the government or governments decide to come forward and say, yes, we have evidence that we're not alone? That truth potentially upends the established order across the world, political, religious, economic. And I think there is a disincentive if you don't really know what the reaction is going to be. How is it going to affect markets? How is it going to affect sovereign borders? How is it going to affect economies around the world? How is it going to affect the way people view God?
Are people ready for some kind of revelation that deals with extraterrestrial life, life that is interdimensional, life that is otherworldly? And so that kind of revelation unearths people's beliefs. Their spiritual beliefs, what they've been taught all of their lives. And so, if such a revelation were to present itself, how does it get presented, and can it be done in a way that people are accepting of it?
People are threatened by this thing. It doesn't threaten me. I get the old 50s talk about how this would upset the balance of our religious. Doesn't upset me. I'm a born-again Christian. I think, God created, Genesis says, God created the heavens and the earth.
And we made a list of well over a couple dozen issues that would have to be addressed. And some of them really got into the nitty-gritty, like, well, if Corporation A finds out that Corporation B had access to the advanced materials from crash retrievals and they didn't, well, then they're going to sue that corporation. They're also going to sue the government because they didn't get access and one of their competitors did. So, when we added up all the numbers, it turned out that despite our personal feelings about it as we entered this process, we came to the conclusion that disclosure was kind of unsustainable, almost. It's a bigger, more complex issue than most people probably appreciate when they just say, well, why don't they just tell us what's going on, be more transparent? Well, there's a lot of things have to happen before you get to that point.
Today, we stand at a pivotal moment in history. The question before us is not just about unidentified anomalous phenomena, but about the very principles of transparency, accountability, and trust between the government and the people it serves.
Some of these crash retrieval programs, maybe
for whistleblowers and for the protection of whistleblowers.
There remains an ongoing official public effort to investigate what is really known about UAP.
And to say until I've seen evidence, I'm just not going to accept this. Can't blame them. I mean, that in fact is a scientific position.
If they got the clearances and were exposed to